All right, welcome to Sanity Petey, everybody. I hope you have your sanity corners or petty items prepared. Alyssa, I heard a rumor that you know what you're going to talk about. I would love to hear. Are you feeling petty or sanity corner this week?
Sanity corner, Erin, sanity corner. And I think it's thanks to you, because I think you're the one who shared this article in our group chat, which I didn't just read, I lived until about 10 o'clock last night. You guys, Jason Bateman has a podcast. People have probably heard of it. And 2 years ago, they were, the premise of the podcast, which is what makes it funny, is that of the three hosts, two of the hosts do not know who the secret guest is. And Jason Bateman. I'm sorry, Erin knows. I actually sent Erin a video last night of me just laughing because I was like, you have to know how funny I think this is. Jason Bateman's computer lost its shit while they were trying to record. And Matthew McConaughey, who was the guest, was in the waiting room while Jason Bateman is losing his mind. And it's all recorded. And my favorite part is he says, we have we and reschedule. I'm in a tailspin. I'm in a fucking tailspin. And if you have ever been a guest on a podcast or you are a host of a podcast, you feel this intensely. And the best part was, as he is in the tailspin, Matthew McConaughey unmutes himself and starts mocking everything that Jason Bateman has said. I'm rebooting. I'm starting over again. I'm reinstalling. It was like, and the reason this came up is because Matthew McConaughey is now 2 years later back on the podcast to finally record, and they brought it all back up. And I was sobbing, crying, sending Erin notes that just said, I'm in a tailspin, I've been a tailspin, because sometimes this happens to us. And so anyway, I enjoyed it. If you want to listen to it and snort like I did, it's the first 15 minutes of their current podcast with Matthew McConaughey. And it is a joy and a delight. And after months of not laughing that hard, I really fucking got into it. And Erin now is only going to get text messages that say, I'm in a fucking tailspin when we record our podcast.
Yeah, McConaughey laughing hysterically at one point, and Bateman going, yeah, that's real helpful.
Real helpful.
That's
real
helpful. Not
Thanks,
knowing
guys.
that it was Matthew McConaughey. It was, yeah.
Also, the best part is that our producer, Caroline, was like, she was very conscious and kind about it because she texted me off our group chain, and she was like, yeah, you're like low-key Bateman. I'm like, I know. I'll take it.
You truly are. In a tailspin. Okay, I'll go next. I'm feeling petty. Now as a lot of people who have lived their life in the public eye for a long time are sort of like exiting the public eye, getting later on in years, there are a lot of men who are choosing to shoot themselves right in the dick on the way out. Just completely light their legacy on fire, completely just whatever goodwill they had from the public, just pee all over it. The latest guy to do that is Jann Wenner, who is the co-founder of Rolling Stone. He made some comments in a New York Times interview published last Friday about female and black musicians, and basically said, here, I'm reading this quote. The people had to meet a couple criteria, but it was just kind of my personal interest and love of them. Insofar as the women, just none of them were as articulate enough on this intellectual level. These are the words that he said to criticize black female artists, female artists, and justify his exclusion of them from Rolling Stone. This is his quote. I'm just going to read it again because these are the words he said in the right order. The people had to meet a couple criteria, but it was just kind of my personal interest and love of them. Insofar as the women, just none of them were as articulate enough on this intellectual level. This is him critiquing how articulate other people were. Stevie Wonder, genius, right? I suppose when you use a word as broad as masters, the fault is using that word. Maybe Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield. I mean, they just didn't articulate at that level. Yeah.
I hope the ghost of Tina Turner haunts his dreams for the rest of his fucking life.
Yeah. So, reaction to that.
Terrible man.
What a stupid motherfucker. Like, you
What
didn't.
a stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
What an own goal. What an absolute dick punching of himself. Like, he did not have to say that to the New York Times. Like, there was just absolutely no reason for him to make those comments about female and black musicians to the New York Times. But he was swiftly removed from the board of directors of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation after those comments went public. And he's like really just kind of lighting his legacy on fire on his way out. And something that I think a silver lining here is that anybody who believed that black artists and female artists were being excluded from Rolling Stone for a reason, and that Rolling Stone objectively knew who was good and who wasn't good, this blows that theory completely out of the water. It was literally a fucking bigoted guy who was the gatekeeper of what was considered good rock and roll music, deciding that black people and women were not good enough.
I can't wait to hear his take on cancel culture in a few weeks.
He's going to be appearing on Russell Brand's
YouTube new show.
Channel.
Terrific.
Terrific.
Yeah,
No, that's I'm just guessing. This is me just guessing what's going to happen. Tien, petty or sanity this week?
Petty. I want to talk about poop.
Okay. You know I'm always here for that.
I'm not a dog owner, so I feel like this might feel controversial to dog owners, but I don't like it when dog owners throw their dog's poop into my trash can. Like, that's bad. The other day, I had 3 bags in my trash can, and maybe I would feel differently if I was a dog owner, but I feel like maybe just hold your poop until you get home and then throw it in your own trash can, because now I have to have a trash can that smells bad for a week and it wasn't my dog's poop. I'm feeling quite petty about that. I just want you to throw your poop in your trash can. Is that crazy? Is that too much?
Very reasonable to me.
Feels fair.
Thank you.
I would say
Thank
from the
you.
perspective of a person walking a dog, walking an entire walk with poop in one hand and a leash in the other is unpleasant. But you could also make the point that exactly when you have a dog, you get unconditional love, and you have to, in exchange, carry bags of shit around. Yeah,
Thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. You could also say, that's probably why one of my neighbors on trash collection day, as soon as the garbage truck comes, she's sprinting out there to pull it in, because so many people.
I made that mistake last week. I had 3 bags in there just cooking in the LA sun.
Yeah.
Anna?
Here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
As someone who is a low-stakes thrill seeker and a dog owner, not all the time, I mostly carry the bags home, but sometimes, not even out of I feel like throwing it out or I don't care. It's really I would like to see if I get in trouble today. I'll put the dog's poop in someone's, normally when we're away, far from home. Here's my thing, because I've heard this before. How much fucking time are you spending with your head in your garbage can?
It's right by my house.
But with the top off?
No, top down, but even
are
when
you
when
taking
I open
meetings in there?
Yes.
It's a garbage can.
No, I'm taking meetings in there.
What is the expectation of nice smelling from garbage can in Los Angeles?
But I don't want poop smelling. When it's not a poop that I've provided, that has.
Here's my thing. I'll never do it because I'm a big pickup stuff girl. But I picture in my head, if someone confronted me, I'd reach in the garbage and take it out, rip open the bag, and dump it on the ground. I wouldn't do that, but it's what I picture every time. That's what I'm hoping for. You know how many people leave their dog poop on the ground or leave the bag to get
understand.
Squished?
It's
garbage.
I'm so glad that people are picking it up. I don't want it in my trash can.
Okay. I mean, it's fair for you to not want it in your trash can, but for you to expect people to not throw it in there I think it's a fool's errand.
It is a fool's
fool.
errand. And I won't confront anyone because they'll open bags and smush them in my yard.
People are not doing well. That's the takeaway.
I think that's what it is too. I think there was something about seeing 3 bags of poop in a double strike and I was just like, what is this? What's society come to?
It in many ways, like, you are the trash can. The poop is everything. They wouldn't have done it if they respect you, is where I would go. Like,
yes. Thank you.
But then I'm also like, COVID happened and I deserve to just put poop in the garbage. I'm like, I deserve a fucking break.
COVID happened and I deserve to take meetings in my trash can.
Yeah.
You just roll in. You like, it's mobile. It's got wheels. And it's COVID safe.
I like the sound. I like the acoustics
safe.
in there.
You can take it into a meeting room. It's better than a face mask. It does smell like poop, though. Yeah. Okay, Anna. Sanity corner or I feel petty?
I mean, I feel like my petty was filled by Tien's thing. I think you should be able to throw it out. I don't know if this is petty, but I'm going to do petty because it's not sanity. Did you cover the air traffic controller shortage? Mm-mm. Okay, so the Daily did a episode on September 5th about they were trying to do something about all the delays that are happening with people's flights getting delayed over and over. That's just, if you have a friend who's traveled recently, it's likely that they have some kind of nightmare story about like being on the tarmac for 5 hours. And it's because of a shortage of air traffic controllers. And the Daily set out to do a story about what are all these delays about? I have to get to my sister's house. And what they found was everyone in the air traffic control industry was desperate to tell a story of how often passenger planes are nearly colliding with each other.
Yes, I did see that.
I'm not afraid of flying, so and I'm a little morbid, so I kind of love this shit. That like, because everybody's so tired and working crazy shifts, and there aren't. It goes back to Reagan. He laid off or he fired all of the striking air traffic controllers during a strike, and replaced them. So now there's a limit of how many. I'm doing a bad job. Just listen to the Daily. But it was like basically because of Reagan firing all these people, there's just this perennial shortage, and it's an incredibly high stress job that doesn't pay well enough for how stressful it is. Just constant near misses of planes being like, oops.
Oh my God.
Getting a little too close.
Oh my God. I really want to do a podcast series about how much Ronald Reagan fucking sucked. Like, I feel like enough time has passed now that there are a lot of people that are, people who were born after 1990 never were alive when he was, around. He wasn't I guess he stopped being president in 1989. But you know what I mean? They weren't alive when he was the president. And like, he fucking sucked. He did so many shitty things.
It's not good. It also might have been Nixon.
No, it was Reagan.
It was Reagan that
fired the air traffic controllers
because
they tried to go on strike, and then he was like, "We're cracking down." Yeah, he fucking sucked. What a terrible, terrible export for the state of California. I deeply regret it.
And for the Hollywood industry.
Yeah, we need to stop electing actors to stuff, I think. Yeah. Chris Pratt better not be moving to Montana.